Alright, so I have already written the function definition. So we are expecting a slice of int and a target of integer as well, and then our result will be a slice of int as well. Okay, so if you remember just now, we need to have two cursors, so I'll call it C1, which will be at 0 or index 0 position. C2 will be at the length of array minus 1. Don't forget the minus 1. Okay, and then we have to do our loop as long as these C1 and C2 are not pointing to the same element. So for C1 is less than C2, then we will do our loop. Okay, now let's get the sum of the elements in C1 and C2. So that will be sum will be equal to array C1 plus array C2. Okay, there's no semicolon in GoLang. Now we have to check if sum is greater than the target. Okay, so if it's greater than the target, then we have to decrease the position of C2 because we already know that we are exceeding the target. So we have to decrease its value. Otherwise, else if sum is less than the target, then in this case, what we want to do is increment C1 because we need a larger sum. So C1 plus plus. Else, we have found our solution already. So return int C1 and C2. Okay, so let me just move this down. In case C1 and C2 are already pointing to the same element, then we already know that there is no solution to this problem. Then we have to return an empty slice. So int, and then just finally end that function. All right, so basically that's it for GoLang solution. So this is the efficient solution. Time complexity for this is O of n because we are traversing the entire array once, and also space complexity is O of 1. So we are not using any additional space in order to store all the elements inside array. Alright, so now let's solve this problem in GoLang. So if you remember earlier, we need two cursors. So we need to have a cursor at the very first index and another cursor at the very last element of our array. So length of the numbers minus 1. Okay? Now, as long as C1 is less than C2, then there is still a chance that we can find a pair that sums up to the target. Okay? So once both of them are pointing to the same element, then it already means that we don't have a solution anymore because we cannot use the same element as a solution. Okay? So let's compute for the sum. The sum will be equal to the element at C1 plus the element at C2. And then we need to evaluate the sum. So if sum is greater than the target, it means that we have to decrease the value of C2, or I mean the position of C2. Because if we lower it, then we will have a lower sum. And then hopefully the next position will already result to the target. Okay, so else if sum is less than the target, it means we have a lower value than the target. We have to increase our left cursor by 1. So C1 plus plus. Else, if we reach the else, it means that sum is not greater than, sum is not less than the target. So it means it's already equal to it. Then we can already return that as our result. Return int. And then we will have C1 and C2. And if we have reached the end, we still haven't found the solution, so we return an empty slice. So one thing we need to take note of here is that it says your returned answers, both index 1 and index 2, are not zero-based. So it means that this slice doesn't start at index 0. Well, it starts at index 0, but we need it to be considered as 1. So here C1, we need to add 1 here, and C2 plus 1 as well. So now let's run this problem, and this code, and then, okay, so it's accepted. Let's submit it. And as you can see, it's working, and that's it. So if you have any questions, just comment out below, and see you again next time. Make sure to like and subscribe for more videos like this. Bye!